Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Lucky Dog Sim Racing Truck Series Thursday nights. We got a banger of a race for you this evening. 100 laps here at Michigan International Motor Speedway. Ran here on Tuesday in the Gen 6 cars. From what we understand, drivers fighting a loose race car all night long. Watching these folks in practice running the trucks, though. Trucks look a lot more planted than the Gen 6s were. So we'll see how that plays out, see what that does to tire strategy, fuel strategy. Looking at the trucks, we only have between 34 and 37 laps of fuel. There's going to be a two-stop race, plenty of opportunity for green flag pit cycle, maybe a little bit, not too much, but a little bit different pit strategy. And it's going to be interesting how that plays out. So we'll go through your starting lineup. Starting first, you have the 78 of Gary Slapinski. Starting his outside is the number 2. In the number 2 spot is the 43 of Sandy Curtis. Third in the 19, Ben Gear. Starting fourth to his outside, the 89 of Randolph Richard. Fifth, we have the 024 of Everett Lane. And sixth, the 74 of Robert Jordan. Seventh, we have the 17 of John B. I really don't want to butcher his last name. Started 8th, we have the 777 of Michael Pegg. Started 9th, this is the 109 of Brad Allison. He's outside the number 4 of Larry Eddy. Larry been on a little bit of a hot streak, one of the faster cars week in and week out. He'll be one to keep an eye on. Starting 11th is the 23 of Mr. Ray Zerka. Starting his outside the 99 of Dan Witt. Starting 13th, 59 of Ralph Blair. 14th, 28 of Larry Boyle. Starting 15th, 52 Gary Wimmer. 16th, the 129 of Kim Kraus. Starting 17th, it's the 85 of Al Cena. 18th is the number 1 of George Rincon. 19th is the 125 of Lee Ryerson Jr. 20th, 91 of Joe Guy. 21st, the number 2 of Chris Hogue. Starting 22nd, the 111 of John Henderson, and 23rd is the 105 of Brad Williams. That is your field. This pace card leads them through turn 4, comes down pit road as they head into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Lap 1 here at Michigan. Good start from the bottom lane. Gary Slapinski able to pull a little bit ahead of the 43. Not quite clear by the time they make it turn 1. Gets him right there on corner entry. That preferred line. Gary's going to be able to sail it off into turn 1. Pull ahead of the 43. 43 keeps it in line. They are side by side. From 4th on back, 89 of Randolph Richard getting out to a nice 3rd place. These trucks fan out going in the corners, much like we saw with the Gen 6 cars. You can run these just about anywhere you want and not have to worry too much. You can run 2, 3, 4 wide just about all the way through the field. You see the front 3 single filed out, but we are 2 by 2 from 4th on back. Michael Pegg, 777, already making gains. Qualified 8th, up to 6th already as he comes to the outside of the 19 of Ben Gear. Ben lets him by. Michael not really having much issue gaining position. 24 of Everett Lane. He's fallen back a few spots. Maybe taking some time to figure out how that truck's feeling in dirty air. Able to clear the 19 of Ben Gear. Keeps it in line behind the 777 of Michael Pegg. Ben got a run, was able to get up to the quarter panel of the 24. As they're still side by side going through turns 3 and 4. They're able to get past the 19, fighting the 74 of Robert Jordan. Robert doing his best to fight back on the outside, not letting Everett slide up the track like he wants. Forcing him to take a little bit of a shallower line. And that's definitely something you could do here. Force people to make a shallower line than what they're comfortable with. Because what that'll do is it'll really burn up that right front tire. And while that may have helped for a little bit, doesn't look like it's going to help for long. 777 slid up in front of Robert Jordan, 24 Everett Lane, able to get ahead of him on corner entry, got a nose ahead of the 777, keeping it down the track away from the side draft as much as he can, venturing up a little bit as he gets a push from the 99 of Dan Witt. 5 cars here all fighting for that fifth position. And while they're racing side by side like this, these front 3, Gary Slapinski, Sandy Curtis, Randolph Richard, doing their best to scoot away. 43 is Sandy Curtis staying glued to the rear bumper of Gary Slapinski, pushing him for all he's worth. Not making contact, not doing the not bump drafting going down the straightaways, getting that nice arrow push there on the rear bumper. Prevents either car from incurring any kind of damage. As you take a look back a little bit, 777 of Michael Pegg finally having cleared the 24. They're hooked up nose to tail, trying to catch down those top 3, and they're bringing the 74 Robert Jordan with them. So we go ahead and we take a look back a little bit further in the field. Take a look here at our 11th place truck, Mr. Larry Eddy. Larry started qualified 10th. He's fallen back just a little bit to now what looks like back up where he started. Sort of just riding around, getting as much of a run as he can off the 52. Gary Whitmer Sr. is doing his best to reel in the 17 of John B. John doing an excellent job just keeping in the tire tracks the people ahead of him, getting a nice draft pull. As what was a 3-truck breakaway has now come to engulf the top 8 trucks all running within about a second of each other. We're 3 wide here going through turn 2. So cut back to 2 wide. Decided maybe they didn't want to go 3 wide that long that early. A little bit of a wiggle there from the 99. Looked like he and the 24 almost made contact there on the doors. Nothing too crazy. We stay green. It's 43. Looked like maybe he was thinking about going for a pass on the 78. Decided against it. 777 Michael Pegg up another position, dives it into the corner under Randolph Richard, who loses 3 spots in that corner. 1 to Michael Pegg, 1 to Everett Lane, and 1 to Dan Witt. Here comes 74 Robert Jordan, inserting himself into the mix. See if he can take advantage. While Randolph is maybe a little out of sorts. Randolph, though, up on that high line. It's going to get him a nice run off the corner. Add that to the draft run he's going to get off the 24. The 99 wasn't quite able to get up the track. Brings Randolph right back alongside him. As we go back to the front, we have a pass for the lead. Sandy Curtis going for a slide job, just barely clear. Very well timed. Sandy gets his lap led as Gary pushes him across the front start-finish line. Michael Pegg, Everett Lane looking for an opening. They're going through turn 2. Sandy's pushing his car. That car washed right up the racetrack, almost into the outside wall on the exit of 2. Hopefully running behind Gary, he didn't wear out that right front prematurely. We're only 11 laps into this race. You have to make it, if you want to split this race into 3 easy segments. You've got to make it to lap 33 or 34 to get a good run through the rest of the race. Burning up your stuff this early in the first run's not going to go well. Michael Pegg pushes Gary Slepinski past the 43. Not quite able to get by him himself. Gary Slepinski trying to pull Michael with him. Gary and Michael work excellent together. And seeing where the momentum's at, 24 of Everett Lane decides, you know what, I think I'm going to stick with you two. So we go through turn 3. Dan Witt more committed to that outside lane, following behind Sandy Curtis. Here we have still top 6 all right there, running within 5/10 of each other, run within half a second. You take a look back just a little bit further. With all this racing side by side, Robert Jordan had a little bit of a moment that dropped him back out of this pack, but he's right back up in it. That's also allowed the 17 of John B. to catch right back up as well, not really letting this front pack run away. And you've got the 52 here, Gary Sr. We'll ride along with him for a little bit, see if we can get an idea maybe of what's going on ahead of you. Those trucks are not getting further away from Gary. Gary Sr. here able to run a fairly easy race, just riding in the draft of these guys. They're pulling him around the track. What that would allow him to do, we were talking earlier in the race, is we have about 33 to 36, 37 laps, I believe, of fuel in these trucks. What that allows him to do is save a little bit of fuel in the long run, so he may be able to stretch this out a little bit better than the folks who are running right up front. He's able to get out of the gas, not get all the way back in it too early. He's making inroads as he puts it up to 7th place. We single file out again for the most part. Dan Witt going for a pass himself on the 78, wanting to get up ahead with that 43, get a lap led. See, the 43 may have found his dancing partner. He's not wanting to pull the 78 down the backstretch. He's wanting to pull the 99, get the 99 inside the 78, get those two running side by side. What that's done to the 777 of Michael Peggs, it stuck him on the outside going through the corner, so he's getting those runs with the momentum, but the way Sandy's pulling the 99 is keeping the 99 inside the 777, stopping Michael from being able to make that corner arc the way we were watching him do earlier, where he's going almost from the top of the track almost all the way to the bottom, running a similar line to what he was running on Tuesday. It was a very fast line around this track. Sandy staying up ahead of the 78 this time. Trying to put as much dirty air on that nose, more than likely. He knows Gary Slepinski's fast. You know, we've talked with Gary just about every race between Tuesdays and Thursdays. Gary's one fast cat. That's one guy, if you can keep the air in front of his nose dirty, wear his stuff out, that's what you want to do. But Gary's so good at managing those tires. That is something that's far easier said than done. Dan Witt gets the pass done on the 777, right on Gary Slepinski's back bumper. He has to back out of it a little. It's like maybe he had a little bit of a loose moment getting out of the corner, which brought him right back into the clutches of Michael Pegg. He goes right back to laying on his door before backing out of it. Allows Dan the opportunity to slide up the track on that preferred exit line. Gets a good run, just about has cleared the 43, who runs up, chops the nose off the 24. Fortunately, no contact. Just enough room there for Sandy's truck to fit. Everett slides back up, having taken third away. The 74 been here the whole time. 24 gets a little loose, almost gets hit by the 43. We're 4 wide. Think we have a caution. Not yet. They stay going straight. We stay green. Everett's up against the wall. Caution is not out yet, from what I can tell. They're still racing up here towards the front. We'll go back. We'll take a look at that. A little bit of a 4 wide moment. Like a little bit of a net code hit. We'll go ahead and we'll ride along with the 74. That didn't look intentional. It definitely looked like the 74. It looks like the 74 was hit, but we saw on that initial camera, 777 and 74 never actually made contact. That's net code. You know, iRacing does everything they can to avoid net code incidents like this. Unfortunately, it still happens. That's unfortunate. Both those trucks running in the top 5, top 7 most of the night already, 21 laps in. This is, unfortunately for them, way too early for a problem. Both these trucks going to be trapped a lap down. They still have to make 2 stops to run all the way to the end of this race. That's very unfortunate for both drivers. Everett and Robert Jordan both taking advantage of the 2 fast repairs each driver is given, so they can get back out and see if they can salvage something from this evening. These 2 drivers will be racing for the lucky dog position. So go back up to the front. 78 of Gary Slapinski's managed to build himself a nice gap to Michael Pegg and the 99 of Dan Witt. These 2 still running side by side. Dan's able to clear Michael, slide up in front of him. These 2 have been racing real hard ever since they found each other. 99 gets a little bit of a push. Michael into the wall. Dan's able to save it. We'll go back, we'll take a look at that. Not certain what happened. Looked like maybe a little bit of an off-center push from Michael there. So he's going to have to bring that down pit road. Not what Michael wanted either. This is going to trap him a lap down. Go back, take one more look at this. We'll ride from the chopper just to see what happened. 2 incidents on the track so far. No caution. 777 gets an awesome run. You see just a slightly off-center push. Knocks the 99 sideways, and the 99 sideways, he and the 777 just locked together. That shoots the 777 down the track. Michael taking his fast repair. Get back out there. This is the kind of thing you don't, if you're a driver, you definitely don't want to happen to you. I'll tell you, the big winner on all this is the 78 of Gary Slapinski. who's out in front almost completely by himself. The only person who's really been racing him for a while still up there is the 43 of Sandy Curtis. An ever so quiet biding his time. In third place, Gary Whitmer Sr. Behind him, the 89 of Randolph Richard. Randolph Richard, Gary Sr., quietly been running inside the top 10 most of the night. Them laying back, taking it easy, definitely's worked in their favor. It's kept them out of trouble. Likely, if they'd been right up there running with Dan. We have a caution. Caution is out. It is not Michael Pegg's night. We'll go back and we'll take a look at this. Not entirely certain what happened there. Let's get backwards and we'll watch. 91 has a little bit of a loose moment, comes up the track just right across the nose of the 777. That collects the number 4 of Larry Eddy. And the 24 of Everett Lane also involved. Everett sees everything going. He tries to shoot the gap. Unfortunately for him, 59 of Ralph Blair is there. Ralph just trying to avoid the contact ahead of him, slows down, slides down the track just to make sure he doesn't hit anybody. So we'll watch this one more time from the chopper. 91 comes up the track, turns himself across the nose of the 777. So this is going to be very good for some people, not so good for others. It's about the time to be thinking about coming down pit road, but you have to wonder who's going to be able to make it from here. If you can save as they come to lap 30. So if you account for 33 laps per run, that only brings you to lap 96. If you can save 4 laps of fuel over the next 2 runs, should do fairly well for you. Tell you who this benefits. This benefits the 74, Robert Jordan. Appears to be our lucky dog this evening. '19 of Ben Gear opting to stay out. Ben looked like he was down pit road just a few laps ago. Looks like he may be being forced to drop to the back due to scoring. He shows a lap down. Not what Michael Pegg wanted. Michael not able to get his lap back. Still showing a lap down as he comes down pit road to top off. 78 of Gary Slipinski doing the same thing. Coming down pit road to get that extra splash of fuel. This is what this race is going to looks like it may be coming down to. It may entirely come down to fuel strategy. And that's something that some drivers just don't particularly like, but That's the nature of racing. Every lap you turn, it's like rolling dice. Triple Seven trying to maximize his chances of also making it on as few stops as possible. He's going to be running a very similar strategy to Gary Slapinski. Not certain what happened to the 89 here. It's like he may have had an incident. Let's take a look at this. His engine is smoking. Car just turns left, drills the inside wall. We are back racing, just not certain. We are back green, riding along with 78 of Gary Slapinski. We'll go ahead and we'll move to the front. 43. Sandy Curtis is our leader, 3 wide further in the back of the pack. Almost have an incident. Everyone keeps it together. 43 of Sandy Curtis, followed by 52 Gary Sr., 99 of Dan Witt. See a little bit of a new cast of characters up here inside the top 5. The 85 of Al Cena running in 4th, right on Gary Sr.'s tail. The 129, haven't really seen much from him, just running biding his time. 129 of Kim Kraus going for a pass on Al Cena, not quite able to get there. Trying to get a little bit of a draft toe on Dan Witt as Dan tries to side draft the 43. We got the 109, Brad Allison. He's made his way up to the front. Dan Witt completing the pass on the 43. And here, bringing up the rear of this group, the number 4 of Larry Eddy. Been doing very well week in and week out. Running very consistent races. Just sitting in the back, a few tenths back off the 109, doing a very similar thing to what the 52 was doing earlier. A little bit of a moment. Kim Kraus, we had a little bit of contact there. A little bit of a loose moment. Kim able to save it. That's not going to do him any favors by way of his momentum. He gets taken 3 wide by the 52 and the 85. Going into turn 1. Kim looks like he backs out of it a little bit. Let's 52 and the 85 go. Falls in line. Keeps it to the outside of Mr. Cena. It's Dan Witt in the 99. Leads him down the front straightaway. Dan taking 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. 43 of Sandy Curtis dove it down into turn 1, was able to get that pass done. 52 and the 85, neither one of them wanted to give an inch. So almost 4 wide there for a second for the lead. Gary Sr. going for the pass. 129, Kim Kraus going to pass Dan Witt. So much is happening. 52, Gary Sr. out to the lead, gets his lap led. That's a bonus point as they head off into turn 1. These guys all racing, so it's the last lap. Ran very hard that last time by. Zal fights back on against Gary Sr. on the inside. Got the 129, to his rear. Gary Sr. almost laying on Al's door there for a little bit, but Al gets a nice run coming out of the corner. If he leads us, it'll be by just a nose, and that's about all it is. Alcina takes the lead, but not able to quite clear the 52 going into turn 1. He's able to get him there. If he can slide up just in front of the 52, and there he goes. Completes the pass. 129 and the 99 at Dan, 129 Kim Kraus, 99 to Dan Witt. Look on from that bottom lane. Kim not giving up, just sailing it off into that corner. Excellent speed on corner entry. Unfortunately, having to lift out of it the way he is on corner exit. Almost a little bit of a contact. As 52, Gary Sr. pushes the 85 down the front straightaway away from the 129. Gary wanted to clear Kim before they make it in the corner. Looks like Kim being down there, compromising Gary's line a bit. Gary wanted to force him to stay down, stay out of the way. Kim not known to be one to roll over, though. So he'll be right back in the midst here very shortly. Gary Sr. goes back for a pass on Alcina to reassume the lead. He's bringing the 43 as Sandy Curtis with him. Sandy Curtis looks hooked. Sandy Curtis right hook into the wall. Catches the 777 of Michael Pegg. That's 3 incidents he's been in. Probably out of fast repairs. That's not what he wanted to see happen. We are still green, though, after that crazy hit. Unfortunately, it looks like that's going to take Sandy Curtis out of the running. Major engine damage. Just he's going to go a lap down before he even gets back to pit road. So we'll go back and take a look at this, see what exactly happened. They come out of the corner. Sandy keeping it down. Looks like Al came down the track a little bit, caught Sandy, and that collected the 4 of Larry Eddy. That's going to hurt his night as well. So we'll hop back a little bit. We'll go ahead and watch from the chopper. '85 came down for a side draft. Was on from there. Not certain if that was net code. That was a little bit of net code. You can see the 43 started reacting like he was hit before he actually was touched. There's a little bit of net code there. Definitely not intentional by the 85. Unfortunate. And what that's done is that's shuffled your top 5 again. Gary Sr. still out in front. Kim Kraus still fighting on the inside for 3rd, but that's brought the 78 of Gary Slapinski right back in the mix. Gary having double pitted earlier in the run, before this green flag run started. Maybe might not have to save as much as these fellas in front of him. Still have to save a little bit of fuel. Doesn't look like that contact hurt the 777 of Michael Pegg much. Michael here showing 1 lap down. He's racing the 19 of Ben Gear for the lucky dog spot. So if there is a caution, these two are the two looking to benefit the most from it. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a little bit of a look at Michael's truck just to see how much damage he has. After having a truck land on his hood, this truck looks surprisingly good. So you go back to the front, 52 still sitting out front. I hesitate to say comfortably with the 99 of Dan Witt and the 78 of Gary Slapinski breathing down his neck. And the 129, especially having turned the aggression up here in this second stint. Kim Kraus trying to get him everything he can. Kim going for his first win in Lucky Dog Thursday Trucks. See Kim running that higher line to try and save that right front tire just that little bit. 99 of Dan Witt able to complete the pass on Gary Sr., get himself back out to the lead. The 78 and the 129 racing door to door, almost door banging each corner entry. Both these gentlemen fighting for the exact same piece of track. They know where they want to be going into these corners. They know where they want to be coming off. There's a little bit of contact further back. 89 got into it a little with the 777. Doored him a little. These three, the 777, the 89, and the 17 are all a lap down. 89 having asserted himself into the conversation for Lucky Dog spot. Hopefully these three are able to get it sorted out. So the last thing any of them wants is to get caught up in a wreck. If it happens around these three guys, it may take all three of them out of Lucky Dog contention. We are 3 wide briefly for the lead. 78 is able to clear the 129 finally. As Gary Slipinski goes for a dive on the 99 of Dan Witt, trying to take that lead back. He does. He's able to get past Dan fairly easy. Dan maybe letting him go, not wanting to run too hard right now, but Dan coming back on the inside. He's got a push from the 129 going into the corner. Little bit of contact there between the 99 and the 78. They keep it going straight. That's hurt the momentum of the 99 there. He was definitely between the two, the more out of sorts. Side by side down the backstretch. These trucks looking a lot more stable than the Gen 6 cars were. These guys looking like they're able to get the throttle down exactly when they want, not have to worry about the truck stepping out on them. So 129 is under fire from the 777 of Michael Pegg and the 109 of Brad Allison. Michael Pegg trying to stay ahead of the 2 lap-down cars behind him. Brad Allison trying to make up some track position. Michael goes ahead and he backs out of it just a little bit to let Kim Kraus go. Kim's not who he's racing. He's racing the 19 and the 89. Fortunately for Michael, they are currently sitting behind the 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr. and the 89 of Brad Allison. Sorry, the 109 of Brad Allison. These two currently fighting for 4th place. Brad gets a decent shove out of the corner by the 19. Fortunately, not really able to make much of it. He's raced exceptionally hard down the front stretch by 89er Randolph Richard. Randolph able to clear 19 as he sets his sights on the 777 of Michael Pegg. We go back to the lead. Dan Witt was able to reclaim the lead briefly. Gary Slipinski takes it right back. And he dropped back just a little bit, but this has allowed the 129 of Kim Kraus to think about getting right back in the mix. He's running that higher lane, so he's getting really good runs down the front and the back stretch, but unfortunately not exactly. He's giving up a lot of time in the corners. He gives a shot to Michael Pegg. That drops him back a little bit further. Michael looking like he's trying to unlap himself the hard way. Michael's been exceptionally fast this evening. As he looks towards the bottom with the 99 of Dan Witt going for a pass on the 78. 129 sees a little bit of a compromised corner entry for the 78, is able to get by. 78 lifted a little bit, not wanting to give up his corner entry and lose too many positions. He's down to fire from the 52. Kim Kraus, having cleared Gary Slipinski, trying to see what he can do to get past the 99 of Dan Witt. Kim still committed to that outer lane. No one besides Kim's really running up there. So he has a lot of clean air. You can see how much time he gave up to the 99. And he closes in going down the straights, but just not enough to get to the rear bumper of the 99. Kim now running the bottom, trying to clear back the 777 of Michael Pegg, wanting to get back to fighting Dan. Dan, loose moment coming out of turn 2. That's going to give the lead to the 129. Dan able to save it. Wondering if Dan might be leaning on that right rear just that little bit much. Makes a little bit of brief contact with the 78 of Gary Slapinski. Slows both of those trucks down just a little bit. This puts Kim Kraus as your leader, half a second away from second place. Gary Slapinski all night, though, the picture of consistency, been running in third place. 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr., most tenured driver in Lucky Dog. Senior having more laps turned than any other driver in Lucky Dog. When we were talking about it, Michael Pegg looked like maybe he was trying to unlap himself the hard way. Michael Pegg got his lap back, was able to pass Kim Kraus. Kim under fire from the 78 of Gary Slapinski. The way Gary's been running the bottom, looks like he might get him, though. Kim Kraus giving up a lot of time up there on the top, but getting monster momentum runs going down the straightaway. As he pushes Slapinski down the front stretch. Kim having led a lap. He's already gotten his extra bonus point. As he continues in that high lane. Coming under fire a little bit from the 52 of Gary Sr. Gary Sr. not able to slide up to the wall like he had been. That really hurt his momentum going down the straightaway. Not giving up, going right back at it in turn 3. Unfortunately, not enough momentum to bring him alongside Kim. As Gary Slapinski's trying to settle into the draft of the 777 ahead of him. As much of a run as he can, try and keep these two behind him. The draft here at Michigan so important. Kim makes it to the outside of Gary Slapinski. He has to lift a little bit going through corner exit, almost like his truck. Oh, 99 of Dan Witt. Another moment. This may bring out a caution. Flag is out. This is the exact thing Michael Pegg wanted to see. So he was able to pass the leader and unlap himself. Put himself back on the lead lap. So long as he wasn't involved, this should give... Well, we'll take a look before I put my foot in my mouth. Watch the 99 of Dan Witt. Slaps the wall coming out of the corner. Trying to stay out of the way. Looks like he gets tagged a little bit by the 109. And unfortunately, glad we went back and took a look at that. 19 of Ben Gear, who was running in the Lucky Dog position, was caught up in that. The 109 tries to avoid it. 99 can't save it. Collects the 19. We'll watch from the 89, but I believe that will give the Lucky Dog spot to Mr. Randolph Richard. So it looks like he got through with no contact. See Michael Pegg already out and around. Having successfully unlapped himself, this is exactly what Michael Pegg wanted. He's able to make it to pit road here with the leaders. And as we suspected, Randolph Richard is your lucky dog. So he goes around and gets his lap back. Have a couple folks opting to stay out. Namely, we have the 19 of Ben Gear. He was caught up in that caution. There's a little bit of damage to that truck, but Ben thinking that maybe this is his best shot to get back on the lead lap. Ben, Larry Eddy, 43 of Sandy Curtis, and the 91 of Joel Guy. All of these drivers showing at least one lap down. So when we get the one to go, they'll be waved around the pace car. This might not necessarily be a bad strategy from these drivers. The entire lead lap field came down pit road to take 4 tires and fuel. And they're not going to be able to save the gas they need to be able to make it to the end. But if the 19, something going on with the 91, he pulls it off and parks it, it appears. 19 opting to bring it down pit road. Looks like most of our lap down cars thinking that. 4 and the 43 staying out. This might work in their favor. All they need to do is make it just another few laps. It's currently lap 60. If they can make it another 6 laps, then they can come down pit road, make their hopefully last 4 tire stop. Well, everyone behind them, all the leaders, will more than likely have to stop one more time. This is either going to work beautifully or fail miserably. I hate to put it that way. Racing is just a game of poker. Who's got the best hand? And unfortunately, we won't know probably until that last stop. So we come through looking like we're going to take the one to go. Go ahead and pull someone up into the booth. Go ahead and talk to him real quick. We'll go ahead and talk to quite possibly the luckiest man on the planet.
$765.
Michael Pegg, William in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Michael, you have not had a good night, I would say, at all this evening. Caught up in 3 cautions, went a lap down, back on the lead lap. Noticed you fighting real hard to unlap yourself. How hard was it to get by those guys? As hard as they were racing?
Unbelievable. We're 17 wide. I felt like a ping pong ball. Every time I looked up, I was a ping pong ball.
Well, you made it through, currently running in the 5th position. I mean, you don't have any fast repairs left, I'm guessing. How easy you plan on taking it the rest of the night?
No, I'm not. I'm going for it. We got 40 laps. Got 1 set of tires left, so we're still gonna have to stop for fuel. Can't make it. We only got 34 laps, so
a little bit of a checkers or wreckers situation for you.
Basically, try to keep it out of trouble. Let some of these tires wear down. They get excited, burn their tires up, on the first 20. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. May just get a splash of fuel and keep going. Who knows?
You got some really fast trucks ahead of you in the 78 and the 129. We wish you the best of luck. We'll go put you back with your team.
Thanks, sir.
It's a 777 of Michael Pegg as we get set to go back racing. 91 looking like he's getting a little bit of a wave around. Possibly had technical difficulties. So we are 1 to green. A group of trucks coming down pit road. Wonder if they're doing a 4-tire stop or just a splash and go. You got to wonder, because if you have to stop one more time, what you need to do, you still have to stop for tires. So watching these guys though, the 59 of Ralph Blair, the number 1 of George Rincon here. Like I said, the 59 of Ralph Blair. Looks like Larry Eddy in the 4 of that group was the only one to take 4 tires. 74 of Robert Jordan, 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr., 99 of Dan Witt, all opting to only take fuel. Got to wonder if maybe they're thinking of pitting sooner than our leaders, who all took 4 tires. But then that's a very interesting question, because with the way this is going to go, coming to take the green flag here on lap 63, these guys can run 10, 15 laps on fresh tires, come down pit road, and then run the rest of it out, while the other folks are going to have to run, if they pit early, a lot longer under older tires. Either that, or we're looking at folks trying to save 4 laps of fuel over this run. We go back green. Gary Sapinski gets an excellent jump on the 129 of Kim Kraus. Kim fighting the 109 Brad Allison. Lets him go, going through the corner there. Gentlemen, we were just talking to Michael Pegg, already shot it up into the 3rd position, rocketing around the bottom on those fresh tires. Gets a good draft run on the 109. Pulls him firmly up into 3rd place. Already under fire again from Kim Kraus. Kim got a good aero push from the 19 going through the corner. Gary looking in his mirror. This is the kind of thing he wants to see. Leader always wants to see from second on back, fighting for position. This is exactly what Gary Sapinski wants. Ben Gear in the 19 caught up in a little trouble earlier, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Not look like he stayed out to get the wave around. '24 of Everett Lane there with him. Everett showing 2 laps down. Everett trying to get at least 1 back as he fights against the 129 going around the outside. Gary Sapinski under fire from Brad Allison. Brad gets a good run, but Kim Kraus in the 129 taking him 3 wide going down the backstretch. Got an excellent exit out of turn 2, just enough to keep him along the quarter panel of the 109. Dives it on in there, is able to clear both Gary Sapinski and Brad Allison. Keeps it right down there against the white line. That's a very fast way around this track. Unfortunately, does not set you up with a lot of momentum for the straightaways. And also wears out that right front. A little bit of door banging there from the 129 and the 109. They keep it gathered up. And that's going to give all that momentum to that top side with the 78 and the 777. Kim opting to back out of it a little. And that's a testament to how planted this truck is, that those two could bang doors to the entire entry of turn 1 and keep it straight. Brad Allison coming out better for it. Brad able to keep it out in front, gets a lap lead here at Michigan. That's a bonus point for Brad. Kim Kraus right back at it on the bottom. Brad and Gary Sapinski almost make contact going there through turn 2. Side by side, 3 wide again going into turn 3 for the lead. At some point you got to think, when What's it going to take? Who's got to give? Looks like Brad Allison's the one to maybe back out of it a little bit. Kim Kraus gets past. Gary Sapinski almost up in the wall. Keeps his truck clean. I got to tell you who this is making nervous is these 4 trucks right here. 777 of Michael Pegg. He's racing with no fast repairs. The 19 of Ben Gear trying to keep up here, trying to get his lap back. The longer he can stay here, the better. See, has a little bit of a moment, gets shoved out. Keeps it going straight, 3 wide going into the entrance of turn 3. Back here, Michael Pegg gets a little bit of a bump from the 24. 24 is also not definitely feeling a little antsy watching all of this happen around him. He doesn't want to be 3 wide either. Trying to get one of his laps back. Some very intense racing up here around the front. We got lap cars fighting to get their laps back. We got lead lap cars all trying to get out ahead. And out in front is the 129 of Kim Kraus. Gets it around the 109 of Brad Allison. Brad Allison immediately back to passing the Toys for Tots machine. Kim able to run that line he prefers. Keeps that nose right there, just barely there. Brad able to clear him just out there at corner exit. Kim getting that monster run. Unfortunately, because of the net code we've seen, doesn't go for the side draft to bring Brad back. Clears him on corner exit. Slides back up. Brad going for the cutback. And these two running the way they are has kept Gary Slapinski right there trying to figure out who do I go with. And it's brought Dan Witt back into the mix. And I'd say our sleeper pick all night, 52, Gary Whitmer Sr. fought his way right back up into the mix. Running behind the 24 of Everett Lane. I'd like to say things have quieted down, but I think the only difference is we're not running 3 wide currently. As Gary Whitmer follows in the tracks of Everett Lane. Everett, a very fast driver. Gary's trying to get all the positions he can on these fresh tires because we are going to have to pit at some point between now and lap 90. The way all that played out, 109 and the 129 got shuffled out of the lead by Dan Witt and Gary Slapinski. Dan fighting really hard here on the inside. 109 of Brad Allison looking to see who he can follow to make up some time. Doesn't want to work with the 24 a lap down. Opting to push the 52, get the 52 up in there. Gary Sr. back up into 3rd place. These lap down cars definitely made the top 5 an interesting place to watch. Everett Lane giving a solid push to Gary Slapinski going down the front stretch. Everett wanting to clear both of these guys, get his truck out there, get one of his laps back. He's fighting to get into the lucky dog position, showing 2 laps down currently. As of right now, if we have a caution, our benefactor would be the 4 of Larry Eddy. Larry, who came down, I believe, came down 8 laps ago, trying to repair off some damage. Don't know how much longer he's going to be the only car a lap down, though. Look, we got the 43 of Sandy Curtis. Sandy showing a lap down. Looks like he came down pit road just a few laps ago. 4 tires and fuel, and he's away. That'll be likely his last stop of the evening. Michael Pegg as well. Michael came down 6-second stop. He's only going for fuel. Being out there by himself, running all that clean air, he should be able to take care of those tires. But more importantly, what that does is it gets him out of this mass right here. This mess right here, you see all these trucks running side by side by side. Everyone jockeying for a position, see where they can go by. 19 of Ben Gear is able to work his way past. 19 currently showing in 14th position, a lap down. So that'll go ahead and get him. I don't think that puts him back. I think he was 2 laps down, so that should put him back in contention for the lucky dog spot. 24 laps to go. Things have calmed down a little. 52 and the 99. Still racing side by side. Brad Allison not really knowing which lane he wants to go. Commits to the bottom. Kim Kraus trying to go for a cutback there on corner exit. Not quite have the momentum to get there. As he's following Brad, and like we were saying, that is exactly 3 wide here for 3rd place. Brad, Dan Witt, and Kim Kraus, they're able to keep it sorted. 52, Gary Whitmer Sr., though, still running 2nd place. He's coming under fire from Dan Witt. Dan sails it off into turn 3. Not quite able to clear Gary Sr. That's going to compromise his exit. Gary will get a decent run here going down the front stretch. Gary going for that side draft, try and take the nose off the rear spoiler. Pull the 99 back, not quite able to get him back far enough. Dan is able to complete the pass. Brad Allison fighting back on the inside. Had a little bit of a moment, maybe truck getting a little loose there. From the exit of turn 2. So we've now single filed out. I think maybe what we're looking at is that 78 of Gary Sapinski. The more we fight side by side, he's getting further and further away. We had a very exciting last several laps. So for Larry Eddy, comes down pit road. He was last on pit road 10 laps ago. Caution is out. .125 involved. I'm not entirely certain if that was... Not entirely certain who that would be. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at it again. Take a look from our friend the Chopper Cam. Man, that's really close. I'd say almost 125 came up on the 1. Take a look one more time. Now maybe the 1 came down just a little bit, but the 125 definitely looked like he was arcing more out towards the wall to see if he could get a good run there. .125 definitely a little bit. 1 came down just a little bit, but the 125 looked like he was trying to take the lane away. Thought he was clear maybe. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate for both those guys. It's going to give the 1 some damage, so hopefully he's able to get that fixed. He hasn't been down pit road yet. If he has any damage, it'll be optional damage at worst. Hasn't been involved in any incidents I've seen this evening, so he should have both of his fast repairs ready. And this is absolutely going to be everyone's last stop. Some folks who are opting to play the fuel game, doesn't look like it's going to work out exactly in their favor. Gary Sapinski comes off down pit road first, off pit road first. 99 of Dan Witt behind him. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a second. We'll go ahead and pull our leader in the booth here. Talk to him, see what the race has been like from his perspective. Gary Sapinski, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, William.
Hey, this has been I've been on the edge of my seat probably for about the last 20 laps. What's it been out there for you? Because I know it's been exciting from up here.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. But you know what's really been scaring me is Jason here, that's been driving with us. I've been really scared of him, so I'm trying to stay away from him.
Well, what about Jason's been scary?
Yeah, he's been scaring me there on the cameras there. He's wearing a little costume today, Dan.
I think that's supposed to be Michael Myers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Michael Myers. My apologies. Yes.
Now he's been, I would say, almost between you, Dan, and Gary Sr. is probably the three of you been the picture of consistency all night long. You guys rarely out of the top five tonight. With as crazy as that racing was, 3-4 wide at times there for about 10 laps. You anticipating a lot of that going towards the end?
Oh yeah, you're going to see 3 wide like right away here. I can almost guarantee it. I was stuck on the outside there for quite a while, 3 wide too. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, so I was quite glad nobody got loose underneath them when I would have been the one that get wiped out into the wall.
Well, top 5 is full of very fast trucks between yourself, Dan. Brad's been showing a lot of speed tonight. Kim Kraus, definitely not wanting to ride in the back anymore. And George Rincon, I wish you the best of luck and hope to talk to you at the end of it.
Hopefully. Well, this is it, too. I had no more tires. This is it. That's it. That's all I got. Let's go for it.
We'll go ahead and put you back with the team. Good luck, Gary.
Thank you.
Your leader, Darius Lipinski. Pace car lights are out. Brings him back through turns 3 and 4. "13 cars showing on the lead lap. Gary Sapinski will be your leader. Dan Witt second. Brad Allison in third. Kim Kraus fourth. And George Rincon fifth. As they head back towards the Geico restart zone. No one has to save. Green flag is back out. About an even start. Looked like maybe Dan Witt not quite alongside the 78 when they went back green. Very good start from both of those trucks. It's a 109. Brad Allison able to clear Dan Witt going through turns 1 and 2. Gets him leading that outside lane. Going down the backstretch, going for a little bit of a draft pull off of Gary Sapinski. Gary trying to keep the people behind him 2 wide at least. So we are 3 wide, just a little further back. Kim Kraus up there at the top. This here looks like it's your race for 4th place almost. Sapinski said we were going to be looking at 3 wide off the start. 3 wide we have. Kim sailing it up the outside of Dan Witt. A little bit of contact. Caution. Almost assuredly going to be a caution. Flag is out. Kim sailed it up there. Absolutely Absolute mad lad. Looks like maybe he and the 99 just ran out of room on corner exit. Just ran out of room, 99. Coming up just that little bit into Kim's door. Not intentional. You'd be hard pressed to say that's intentional. Just good hard racing. So take a look one more time. They were 3 wide going into the corner. Kim Kraus, absolute monster run. Guarantee you never lifted going through turns 1 and 2. Saw a hole big enough for a truck on the outside. Took it, was getting the run from the 99. Sorry, from the one. Took the draft run from the 109. It's made slight contact. So go ahead and watch this in slow motion. Now watch it in slow motion. Looks like the 109 came off the wall just a little bit as the 99 was coming up the track. Good hard racing from both of these drivers. We'll see how this plays out. And that unfortunately negatively affects quite a few drivers. Saw a bunch of drivers spinning through. That drops Kim Kraus in the 129 all the way down to 9th place. It's been a big shuffle of your entire field. Your top 5 as of right now, Gary Sapinski, Brad Allison, Michael Pegg, those are the 3 that were able to make it through clean. 89 of Randolph Richard was a little further back. He was able to drive through the spinning carnage. The Tenacity Award's got to go to the 19 of Ben Gear, who's currently showing as your 5th place driver. A lot of very strong cars, though, getting moved to the back. Dan Witt dropped pretty far down. Kim Kraus, Larry Boyle, those 3 very, very strong. Sandy Curtis also caught up in that caution. Just ugly, ugly affair. But your leader, Gary Slapinski, called it. We were going to see some very, very aggressive driving. And that's what we got. I don't know what it is about the trucks or the setup tonight. Definitely anyone on the lead lap currently, showing 14 cars on lead lap, any one of these trucks with 12 laps to go can win this thing. Your question is, who's going to make the crazy move, and can they make the crazy move stick? Unfortunately, that last time by didn't quite stick the way the 99 or the 129 hoped. Gary Sapinski leads them one more time to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. This time a lot better start from the outside. Brad Allison keeping door to door with Gary Slapinski. Gary getting a decent push from the 777 of Michael Pegg. Brad Allison has the 89 of Randolph Richard as they go off side by side into turn 1. That bottom lane on restarts is just so fast. Both Gary and Michael are able to clear the top side. Michael Pegg sitting in second. His night up, down, up, down, up, down. Currently on an up note. We'll hope he's able to bring it back in one piece. So he was hoping to have a bunch of these tires wear out. So he comes under fire from the 109 of Brad Allison. Thinks about maybe throwing a block, decides better of it. Brad going for a dive on both him and Gary Slapinski. Brings it alongside Gary, but Gary's got that push from the 777. Brad down there all by himself. He's able to keep it there, up alongside Michael. But without some help, it's going to be very difficult to make this pass. As Ben Gear gets up there to decide what he wants to do, looks like he's maybe thinking of going a little lower, falls back in line with the top 2. We are 10 to go this time by. Randolph Richard up here in 5th. Mad Lad himself, 129 of Kim Kraus from 9th to 6th, driving by just about everyone as fast as he can. Tries to push the 89 down the backstretch. 89 gets squirrely, maybe a little bit of an off-center push. He sails it off into turn 3. We are 2 by 2 by 2. The top 6 running side by side. Brad Allison going again for that pass on Gary Slapinski. Not able to lead this lap. Gary's got that excellent push from Michael Pegg, but here comes help on the bottom. Randolph Richard and Kim Kraus. The top 6 all running within 0.3 of a second of each other. None of these trucks is wanting to give an inch. They know this is it. We're just hoping we see these trucks come home in one piece. Sandy Curtis also back up into the mix. Hadn't seen anything since he was involved in that caution many laps ago. Brings it right back up into the top 5. Looks like he's going for it. We are 3 wide, pass for the lead. 89 of Randolph Richards taking the 109 and the 78, 3 wide. 19 ends up in the wall, trying to avoid the 129, maybe overdrove the corner a little bit. 78 of Gary Slapinski is able to come out of that 3 wide situation with the lead. 109 in the wall, maybe tangled up with the 43 a little bit there. And that's exactly what we didn't want to see. 28, 52, 43, 109, all caught up in that. We'll go back and take a look. As they go off into turn 3, 52 goes low. 43 doors the 109 into the wall. Comes down the track, not certain if his truck was loose or just not certain if he was clear. Comes down the field, right hooks the 52 into the wall. Take a look and see what was going on with the 19 and the 28. Neither one of them looked like they were caught up. Caution happens ahead of them. Looks like maybe the 19 was slowing down, coming down the track to miss it. 28 didn't quite check up for the caution. Unfortunate wreck for everyone involved. We'll go ahead. We'll ride along with Sandy Curtis here, see if we can get a better idea of what was going on. You can see the contact there. That wheel turned to the left, almost like he thought maybe he was clear. We're going to drop down behind the 52. It's very unfortunate. 52 of Gary Whitmer Sr., probably our sleeper pick for the evening. Looks like he may have had to take a tow. That's unfortunate. As of right now, he is showing 2 laps down, so that's probably the end of his night. We'll take a look and see who rounds out our top 5 now. It has been a veritable who's who out here of drivers in the top 5. Gary Slapinski still our leader. 777 of Michael Pegg will be restarting to his outside. Those two have worked very well together. One pushing the other. We'll see how they do racing each other at the restart. 89 of Randolph Richard keeping it right there where it matters. He's been able to stay out of just about everything tonight. Just about. The number 1, George Rincon, and the 129 of Kim Kraus. We get our 1 to go signal. 5 laps to go. Go a little bit further through the field here. 125. He was able to get back up in 6th place. Good recovery drive for him. Restarting 7th will be the 59 of Ralph Blair, for most part keeping his nose clean tonight. Starting to his outside in 8th place. That'll be the 74, the green and black Harley Davidson truck of Robert Jordan. To round out our top 10, the 43's receiving, looks like he may have received an EOL for that caution. So that'll go ahead, and that'll put the 109 of Brad Allison. He'll be restarting 9th, and the 28 innocent bystander to that last caution, Larry Boyle, will be restarting. Oh, no, Ben Gear. Ben Gear will be restarting 9th. Pace car is down and away. Hopefully one last time. Gary Slapinski leads them to the green flag. Front does not quite get the start maybe they were expecting. Bottom gets a little better run than the top does. 78 able to clear the 777. Michael Pegg not quite able to clear the 89 of Randolph Richard going into the corner. Randolph fighting real hard there along the bottom. He's got the 129 of Kim Kraus to his back. He is side by side with Michael Pegg. Michael pushing Gary Slapinski going into turn 3. He's able to clear Randolph Richard. As Randolph is now under fire from both the 1 and the 129. Not certain which lane he wants to block. Just try and follow Michael Pegg, get as much of a run going into the corner as he can. Not quite able to get the arc he wants because the 1 just barely had the bumper there. The 1 backs out of it a little. Gary Slapinski trying to break the draft. Moves back up in front of Michael Pegg. 89 of Randolph Richard. Excellent run down the back straightaway. He is hooked to the bumper almost. Michael Pegg starts to slide out. Try and maybe beat the 777 to the wall. Get that little better run. The 1 of George Rincon. Haven't seen much of him all night, but here he is when it matters. Scooting past the 89. Seeing what he can do to set up the 777 for a pass. 129 of Kim Kraus also going, trying to get past the 89. Randolph Richard not quite able to get the run, committed to the move anyway. Randolph Richard sees it coming though, goes down, takes the air off of Kim's nose. That'll be enough to hurt his momentum. We look back a little bit further. George Rincon able to get to the left rear quarter panel of Michael Pegg, not able to get close enough for a side draft. as Randolph Richard dives beneath the one, looking to reclaim that third place. One pinches him really hard. That's going to hurt Randolph's momentum. Thinks about side draft and didn't quite have the momentum to hang there. It's Michael Pegg going for that last lap attempt at a pass. George Rincon right on his rear bumper. George going down to the apron to get the pass. Gary Sapinski is your winner. Michael Pegg bringing it home second. George Rincon third. Randolph Richard fourth. Kim Kraus fifth. Robert Jordan sixth. Ralph Blair seventh. Lee Rierson Jr. ninth. Lee Rierson Jr. eighth. Larry Boyle ninth. And Everett Lane managing to get his laps back and finish 10th. This was one heck of a race from start to finish. Gary Sapinski and Michael Pegg, absolutely a monster team here tonight. As Michael celebrates his recovery drive, that is definitely the picture of tenacity right there. As we watch our leader burn it down. Let's go ahead and looks like the number 1 of George Rincon. I don't see him available for comment. So go ahead and we'll pull up your leader, second place, and we'll go ahead and we'll grab the 89, your fourth place spinner. We'll go ahead and talk with those three gentlemen. Oh, we have our first place, second place. Again, third place not available for comment, so we went ahead and pulled up fourth place, Randolph Richard. Randolph, this is William in the booth. You got me? You got me, Randolph?
Must be gone.
Well, that I'd say that is unfortunate. He definitely, he was definitely at the top of my list of people I wanted to talk to tonight. Amazing drive from the 89. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and talk with our second place driver, the 777 of Michael Pegg. Michael, maybe, we talked a little bit about your recovery drive earlier. With his crate, describe those last 10 laps for us, because that looked like it was absolutely insane for everyone in the top 5.
It was about like the first 90. It was out of control. I don't know. It's that line to burn your stuff up. You can't do that down here on these turns. You just got to really, get the right tire wear. Otherwise, it's just going to fade away after so many laps. This being a Keegan setup, it keeps the tire wear is incredible. So even if you don't know how to drive, you still get good tire wear. So we think after tonight, we're going to switch it, go back to stock. So after about 10, 15 laps, it'll start separating everybody a lot quicker. Because tonight, it was just pack racing all night. And hats off to them. They drove their, they did great. Gumbo did great. Dan did great. George, there's a bunch of them. Gary, everybody up front tonight was awesome.
But looks like he's back. I'm going to see if I can pull Randolph back up in here, because I want to talk to him. He drove the race of his life tonight. Randolph, this is William in the booth. You got me?
Oh yeah, what's up, William?
You are at the top of my list of people I really wanted to talk to tonight. You were inside the top 5 most of the evening, driving your ass off, man. Walk me through your race, just because you were a blast to watch all night long.
Well, I started off. I was running up there, and I switched to see if my camera was working, and I couldn't get back to the race, so I hit the pits and messed my night all up. I was waiting for a caution to come out so I could get back in there. It put me bad, so I got that caution and got back in there. I had but one tire set left, so I had to hang in the back, and with 670 to go, I got new tires. I said, I'm good now.
You definitely were good. I mean, it didn't seem like no one was able to really shake you like when you got a mind to pass them. Watching you race there with the number one there for the end, watching you race with the 129. I mean, whatever position you were in, you looked stuck in like an Alabama tick.
Oh, I was driving. The car truck was sticking. It was sticking good.
Well, I wanted to congratulate you, Randolph. Absolutely fantastic job. I look forward to talking to you next time.
Oh yeah, William. Thank you for you do good. You do great with this commentating. You're really good at that. I know you're a good driver too. Oh yeah. You'd have been up in there with us. Look at Garrett still doing a burnout.
Yeah, I'm going to talk with him about how that engine has managed to hold up this long here in a minute. It was good talking to you, Randolph. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you
go? Thank you for doing what you do, and Michael Pegg for putting all this on, and Brian, he does a lot of work with the Lucky Dog for putting all the stats up and stuff. And that's about it, you know. Well, and Sean for painting my cars. I didn't get that right.
Well, it's good talking with you, Randolph. You have a good evening.
All right. Wait.
Well, I'll finish up talking with you, Michael. Obviously, you know, you're able to go from lap down, broken truck, able to save it there for the end. Overall, I mean, it was an exciting race to watch. Was it an exciting race to run?
Yeah, because when I came out, I thought I was, the first car down. Turns out I wasn't. Gumbo and Ben Gear were. So fighting them to get back to the lead lap was like mission impossible. And I finally got around it, but it took quite a while. And then when the caution came out, I was on the lead lap. So that's what put me back. But yeah, it was a fight tonight. Those guys drove hard, especially Gumbo. I think this is probably the hardest I've ever seen him drive.
Well, from what I understand, he's got some new hardware that he's been running with. Seems to have really helped. So looking forward to see his upward trajectory there. You know, I like talking to Gumbo. Gumbo's fun.
Yeah, he's a blast, man.
All right. Well, is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, William. You've done an outstanding job. Lucky Dog Broadcasting, 4K, man. It's incredible. You're dead on. You know exactly what's going on the track. It's great to watch. I'd like to thank all the regulators, all the Lucky Dog members that come out, all the guys that want to watch. Thank Gary tonight for winning, all the guys that show up. And want to thank Molly, Cash, and Tracy, and Brian for putting all this on. And that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you, Michael. It's fun watching you tonight, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Finally, we have our winner, the 78 of Gary Slapinski. Gary, I'm not even going to ask if you got me. I know you got me, but one question. How does that truck still run right now?
I don't know. It's overheating. I can see the oil as he's blinking away, but she's still running.
I think you've been burning that thing down for the last 10 minutes. I don't know if I could get one to stay running that long. It'd have blown on me about 9 minutes and 30 seconds ago.
I did a burnout everywhere. I don't think there's any left in my tires right now. I think I'm down in the rim.
Probably. So, Gary, I can't say I'm surprised to see you in victory lane. One of the strongest trucks Tuesday night. The race Tuesday night this week, exact same track. So, I mean, running it in the trucks. How is it different running this track in the trucks versus running it in the Gen 6s?
Oh, they drive completely different. That thing was weebling and wobbling all over the racetrack. This thing was just point it and go, and she'll do whatever you want. This thing was a dream to drive tonight. So it was a matter of taking care of the tires, and that's what I did tonight. And And that's what gave me victory lane tonight. That's the way I see it. And of course, I had teammates too. Michael really helped me out at the end there, and I helped him out. And we sort of work well together. So that's how we always pull it off the way we always do.
And we were noticing that you two, once you two seemed to get hooked up, the only way anyone was going to be able to pass either one of you is if they got you two disconnected. And we saw that happen a couple times, but you two immediately right back into it, working together. The entire race you were running just about towards the front. Saw you double pitting there. I think it was close to 35, 36 to go. Were you thinking you could maybe save the extra? Obviously, before we had those cautions, were you thinking maybe you could save those extra 2 laps?
I was saving. Yeah, I had enough. I really did. I had enough. I was actually saving. I was running. Wasn't even running 3 full throttle. That whole run there, I was running like 3/4, and as I got closer to them down the end of the straights, I was really like almost down to like a quarter, a half, and my numbers just kept getting better and better. And I felt like I could have made the end, just one more stop, and saved it. And I think I would have made the end. Everybody else would have had to pit it again.
But you had an absolutely monster run, dominant performance. I don't think the only time you were out of the top 10 was there when you did that double pit. But even then, it looked like 10 laps later, right back up in the top 5. Absolutely dominant performance. Gary, is anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I'm gonna thank you, Will. You did a great job here. We really appreciate it. I'm going to thank Lucky Dog. We're going to like to thank Brian. Brian does an awesome job with everything.
You guys need to stop massaging my ego.
Yeah, and yeah, Brian. Everybody needs to go out and check out his website. Check out the website, Lucky Dog. And I'd like to thank everybody out there for out there to watch us tonight and try to make this channel strong and make it one of the best out there. It's got the best. I mean, we're broadcasting in 4K. We got cameras up. I mean, I don't even see the pros doing that. So it's a phenomenal thing what Michael can do with that computer over there he's got. So we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Gary Slapinski. Congratulations on your win this evening. Look forward to talking to you again next time.
Thank you. See ya.
And that'll just about wrap it up for us, folks. Lucky Dog Sim Racing Thursday night trucks at Michigan International Speedway. It's an absolute blast of a race from start to finish. I enjoyed watching it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it too. We got super late models tomorrow, late model stocks tomorrow night. Xfinity Super Speedway on Saturday. We'll be back for next week on Monday with the Gen 4 Cup cars, and you'll hear from me again Tuesday, Gen 6s. We'll see where we're at. Most of all, thank you for sticking around and watching us. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. But all in all, fun race.